I know how to change. And one of the most important things when you're trying to change is about how you fail at what you're trying to do. When we set a goal, whatever it might be, I want to exercise every day, I want to eat healthier, I want to stop drinking alcohol, whatever it might be. It's when you struggle, that's what's going to determine whether or not you're going to be successful long term. So if you go into it and you have to be like, I have to be perfect, I can never make a mistake. If I do, then I'm not enough. That's going to create an energy that's going to make it really hard to sustain long term. This is why dieting really doesn't work, because you're very much like, I have to, I ought to, I should. So when we shift to, I'm going to do this as an act of love. So we've healed the part of us that says, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, that's why I'm going to cause myself harm. And instead now we're doing it as an act of love. That's what's going to give you the motivation to do it. And then also when you don't do it, so when you wake up and you had planned to go to the gym and it doesn't feel loving for you to go, and you say, okay, I'm not going to go, I'm not feeling it today, it doesn't feel loving to my body today, I'm not going to force it. When you do that and you let go of guilt and shame and self-attack, that's actually what's going to allow you the next day to make the decision to go. But when we abuse ourselves and we say, oh, I should have went, or I should have spent half an hour instead of 5 minutes, when we judge what is our best in any given day, our best will decrease. But when you give yourself grace, when you say, you know what, for whatever reason, that was my best today. Maybe I wasn't feeling well. Maybe I was struggling with my emotions. Maybe I didn't sleep well. For whatever reason, that was your best. When you give yourself love, compassion, gentle correction, that's what's going to allow you to pick back up and do it as an act of love the next day, or to get back on track that day. Or even to stop a binge. You know, when people try to stop drinking for alcohol, for example, and like I said, this happens with food as well. When you do something that is not loving because it's your best in that moment, and you're hurting and you don't know what to do, and then you say, okay, that was my best. I'm okay. I'm still enough. I'm going to release guilt and shame, and I'm going to choose differently now. That's how we can stop binge eating. That's how we can stop binge drinking. But when you say, oh my gosh, I failed. I told myself I was never going to eat Oreo cookies, and I ate an Oreo cookie, or I had a drink, and you attack yourself for it, and you feel that guilt and that shame, then you just say, like, screw it. I'm going to do it anyways. Might as well. You know, I'm already a failure. I already suck. So when we attack ourselves, that's what actually causes us to fall deeper into the unloving behavior, into the addiction or the self-harming action. So if you want to change, if you want to have lasting change in your life, it needs to come from a place of love. And when you struggle with following through with what you want to do because it's loving, that's when we want to give yourself gentle correction. Release guilt and shame and say, okay, that was my best. And also follow the cues too. If a certain day it doesn't feel loving to exercise, or it doesn't feel loving to say no to the ice cream cone when your whole family's having ice cream, then don't. There's nothing you have to do. So everything's neutral, and all the meaning everything has is the meaning we've given it. So in any particular moment, looking at the meaning you've given that situation, if you tell yourself you can't do something that you really want to do, that will cause you harm. Or you force yourself to do something you really don't want to do, that will also cause your harm. So be in acceptance of where you are, what is your best in that moment, and then you're going to find that your best is going to increase, and you're going to be able to make the changes you want and sustain them long term as an act of love.